Investors do more than finance companies. They decide which systems are allowed to grow, which standards become infrastructure, and which futures become possible. Capital has consequences beyond the balance sheet. We can postpone those consequences, but we cannot escape them. Responsibility follows capital like a shadow. In the age of AI, that responsibility belongs inside the investment thesis, not outside it as philanthropy, compliance, or public relations. I am Sinika Alboye. I am an entrepreneur and researcher with more than 25 years of experience building software, blockchain systems, artificial intelligence, and technology ventures. I created Outfinity Venture Studio to transform that research into venture scale companies and into the social mechanisms required for resilient, diverse, and legitimate economies. This is not idealism attached to a business model. It is the business thesis. AI is making generation abundant. Text, code, images, software, research hypotheses, and autonomous actions can now be produced at rapidly falling cost. But abundance does not eliminate scarcity. It moves scarcity somewhere else. When generation becomes cheap, judgment becomes scarce. What deserves attention? What is original? What is supported by evidence? Which contribution created real value? Which system can be trusted? Who has the right to decide and under which rules? This is the legitimacy problem. Legitimacy is why people accept an output, a decision, an institution, or a future. In practical economic terms, it is what allows users to adopt a system, contributors to invest their effort, enterprises to rely on it, and communities to accept its rules without permanent coercion. AI did not create our deepest fractures. It amplifies concentrated power, manipulated attention, opaque infrastructure, and control over economic surplus. Social algorithms already allocate legitimacy by deciding what becomes visible, what receives priority, and what is made to matter. Cryptocurrency exposed the same question around money. DAOs attempted to address governance, but many were institutionally naive. A mechanism can automate a vote or execute a decision. It cannot, by itself, make that decision legitimate. AI now brings these questions together. Are its outputs legitimate? Who legitimately controls its automation? Who captures the surplus? And what future can we legitimately build for people who cannot yet vote on it? I was born in communist Romania. I learned early that control can present itself as stability, uniformity as unity, and silence as consent. It is the obedient order of ice, solid in appearance, brittle in reality. Living societies are more like water, diverse, adaptive, distributed, and difficult to capture. They are defeated only when they are frozen. I am not a prophet, and no person, company, ideology, or intelligence should be allowed to become one. One universal AI design, controlled through one institutional center, may become one of our greatest systemic risks. The future must be built through decentralized, parallel, and culturally diverse effort. We call our research and operating framework Outfinitism. Outfinity turns that worldview into an investable operating model. We launch focused, revenue-generating ventures at the tactical edge while building shared infrastructure at the strategic core. We do not attempt to solve the entire legitimacy problem in one company. The elephant is eaten one piece at a time. At the tactical edge, we build companies around specific bottlenecks created by AI abundance. One venture may develop algorithms and methods that detect legitimate, defensible value inside the flood of AI-generated research and content. Instead of another popularity score, such a system can evaluate provenance, evidence quality, reproducibility, novelty, domain relevance, and traceable human contribution. Its customers can be research organizations, enterprises, publishers, investors, and technical communities that need to separate useful signal from synthetic noise. A second venture may build knowledge provenance systems that track the sources, methods, transformations, and evidence behind AI-generated claims. A third may build what we call an anti-idiocracy platform, a discovery system designed to surface expertise and niche knowledge through demonstrated contribution rather than clicks, outrage, or majority voting. A fourth may deploy sovereign AI agents, private and verifiable assistants running on infrastructure controlled by an enterprise, laboratory, or research organization. A fifth may create collaborative R&D infrastructure and independent research networks that help laboratories reuse work, coordinate engineering, fund neglected high-risk research, and reward the people whose contributions actually move a project forward. These are not 5 unrelated stories. They are 5 commercial entry points into the same emerging market, the legitimacy layer of the AI economy. First, we build sustainable ventures on legitimacy. Over time, verified contribution, provenance, and reputation can also become foundations for new incentive systems and future currencies, because currencies are social technologies that materialize what a system recognizes as valuable. These ventures can be independent, but they should not be isolated. All these connect through our strategic core, Assist OS. Assist OS is our attempt to build the Linux for AI, not because it is simply another operating system, but because it can become a neutral, modular, and open foundation on which many specialized companies, laboratories, and communities can build. Rooted in the Achilles research project, Assist OS is envisioned as an ecosystem for sovereign AI. It consolidates curated collections of specialized R&D agents and integrates successful open-source components across image processing, video, knowledge work, engineering, and research automation. It supports specification-driven R&D and, over time, increasingly automated research pipelines. The purpose is to coordinate the fragmented energy of open source around a project large enough to matter while remaining modular enough to leave room for many participants and many winners. A focused startup can contribute a specialized agent and build a commercial vertical around it. A research laboratory can publish a new method with clear provenance and receive recognition for its contribution. An industry expert can bring domain knowledge without having to recreate the entire technical stack. An enterprise can deploy the resulting system on sovereign infrastructure. Product marketing and venture teams can turn the best combinations into businesses with real customers. At the research frontier, the same ecosystem can fund specialized AI laboratories exploring CPU-efficient models, neurosymbolic agent harnesses, and vector symbolic architectures. But foundational research is connected to venture formation rather than remaining detached from markets. Assist OS, therefore, cannot be only a code repository. Open source produces extraordinary technical value, but it does not automatically create durable coordination, fair economics, or protection against capture. A project can be open and still become strategically dependent on a small number of platforms. Contributors can create shared value while another actor captures the distribution, the customer relationship, and the economic surplus. The GPL offers an important historical lesson. It may no longer be fashionable in many venture circles, but it performed a critical structural function for Linux. It established a reciprocal boundary around the shared core. The Linux kernel is distributed under GPL version 2, and the kernel community describes reciprocal sharing obligations as important to the long-term sustainability of both the software and its community. More generally, copyleft is designed so that modified and extended versions preserve the freedoms attached to the original work. The GPL did not create Linux's success by itself. It also did not prevent companies from building major businesses around Linux. Its strategic lesson is that a common technical core can remain available to its ecosystem instead of being quietly converted into a proprietary dead end. AI requires a new generation of protective open source arrangements because value no longer lives only in source code. It also lives in models, datasets, agent skills, specifications, workflows, evaluation methods, provenance graphs, and continuous feedback. Outfinity intends to research and pioneer licenses and contribution agreements for decentralized brands that preserve open participation and commercial opportunity while introducing reciprocity, provenance, attribution, and protection against unilateral enclosure. The objective is not to stop companies from winning. It is to prevent one winner from turning a shared ecosystem into a private choke point. That brings us to decentralized brands. A decentralized brand is not a logo. It is not merely a token, and it is not a DAO by default. It is a living system of identity, reputation, contribution, ownership, governance, and shared purpose. Human progress has always scaled through shared institutional narratives, states, scientific communities, companies, currencies, and open source movements. The challenge for the AI age is to create such systems without allowing a single actor to own the identity, rewrite the rules, or capture all the value. Assist OS is the technical substrate. The decentralized brand is the social and economic coordination layer. Protective licenses are the constitutional boundary. The focused ventures are the market-facing products that generate revenue, evidence, and adoption. Together, they form one system. Our operating model uses a dual funding strategy. We validate and fund conventional standalone startups while also supporting ventures and contributors operating inside decentralized brand consortia. We connect deep industry experts with strong technical founders, researchers, product builders, and marketing teams. The studio compounds value across a portfolio by reusing research, technology, talent, distribution, and venture building capabilities. Depending on the venture, value can be captured through independent company participation, enterprise deployments, licensing, specialized services, and shared infrastructure. This creates a compounding loop. Market problems generate focused ventures. Those ventures create customers, revenue, data, and new technical modules. Their modules strengthen AssistOS. AssistOS reduces the cost and time required to launch the next venture. The decentralized brand attracts contributors, partners, and distribution. Protective rules preserve trust in the common core. That trust increases adoption and makes the ecosystem more valuable to every series participant. This is also the practical meaning of our route for capital. Influence becomes goodwill. Goodwill becomes performance. Influence, when used to build credible shared infrastructure, attracts talent, partners, users, and public legitimacy. Goodwill is not a soft substitute for performance. Properly structured, it reduces coordination costs and becomes an input into performance. Outfinity is the convergence of a 25-year effort with the right historical moment. Axiologic Research, founded in Iyashi in 2003, has developed software products and research across AI, blockchain, self-sovereign data, and decentralized systems, including solutions delivered for companies such as Novartis, GSK, and MSD. Our foundation includes peer-reviewed research, OpenDSU, AssistOS, and the current Achilles project. We bring technical depth in AI, agentic systems, decentralized infrastructure, digital sovereignty, and product engineering. We also bring cultural intellectual property, the legitimacy perspective, decentralized brands, and outfinitism. The Venture Studio is the mechanism that turns this research and worldview into pilots, products, communities, and companies. We are now raising a seed round to prove the category. The result we seek is concrete, real communities, real governance, first software, first revenue, and a repeatable launch model. We are not building one company around one prediction. We are building a portfolio around a structural shift. Generation becomes cheaper. Selection becomes more valuable. Automation expands. Trust becomes more valuable. Power concentrates. Legitimate coordination becomes more valuable. When intelligence becomes abundant, legitimacy becomes scarce. And scarcity is where durable value forms. Outfinity is building at that layer. We are not asking investors to choose responsibility instead of returns. We are asking them to recognize where returns can move when intelligence becomes abundant, and to help shape the infrastructure before its rules are written only by the largest incumbents. The future elite will not be the one that controls everything. It will be the one that makes power legitimate enough for others to join willingly. We invite founding investors to co-build that legitimacy infrastructure. The investors who understand this early will not merely finance the future, they will earn a legitimate place in building it.